From Appian Government 22 at the Ronald Reagan Building, just downtown Washington, D.C. I'm happy to be along with Garret Goldstein of Appian VP Public Sector and Chandan Mukhopadhyay, the president of Synergy. And we're here talking about the value of this partnership with Appian and Synergy. And Garret, tell us a little bit about the strategy and the ecosystem and how it is relevant for federal customers today.
Yeah, so the partner ecosystem is extremely critical for Appian. And let's face it, the reason why is because the mission of our government customers is so incredibly important and complex. And so, as you've seen today, the Appian platform and technology can do a lot of things, and it shines best in complex scenarios, whether it be complex business process, heterogeneous environments. And it shines as well when it's integrated with, the best of breed of other things, whether it be AI or RPA or other systems they have, and absolutely data and bringing the data together. All that is great, but as a platform, it doesn't do anything by itself. And it takes people to do all that and build all that and help our government customer realize the value. And more than just any people, it takes people that have domain experience, that know the customer, that can understand beyond the words of what they express, what they really need, because you understand the mission, and you understand the current environment, you understand how the data should come together, how the system should come together, how to bring automation in the right way so that the human workers can focus on the most critical tasks, not the mundane. All of that cannot be done by Appian alone. Right? We provide the platform for it, but we need the partner ecosystem, folks like Synergy, who have that experience in the platform and the customer to make sure that we realize the promise of that innovation that we can deliver to the government.
And Chandan, you have, as part of this partnership, you've built an organization that is very focused on software as a service. You've built investigative case management solutions on the Appian platform, as well as some of the more recent development on the DoD contract writing systems that you've done. Tell us about the value of Appian in particular to the federal government. How do you see it being applicable to some of these complex challenges that Garret just outlined?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking the lead from Garret. We are Synergy. When we started the company, we come from a customer service background. So our success we measure is, are we making the customer successful? That's most important for us. And we think that the revenue and the profit are kind of like a byproduct of that. So that's our core. And how do we make it? How do we make them successful? So how do we deliver them solutions that are cheaper, better, faster, right? So one is, and every aspect of that, we take it. So when you use platforms like Appian that have a lot of stuff already built in, we can go and deliver capabilities faster. And that's what our customers are saying. They want 40, 50, 60% solution today, rather than waiting for a 100% solution. And that Appian gives us that ability. We can very easily collaborate with Appian engineers and build solutions, build prototypes. The recent solution cup is something like that. We built it in 2 weeks, and now one of our customers, Coast Guard, is very interested to take it to the next stage.
I want to drill on that because it's somewhat ironic, Garret, and maybe you can shed some light. We've been talking about these radical, rapid application development solutions that go in quickly, that actually work.
Yep.
And yet they typically take less resources, they go in faster, and a lot of partners don't understand that, but the backlog that you've been describing, the backlog that Chandan sees, is immeasurable in many ways. It's driven by modernization. Why the irony? Why are these applications so nimble, so agile, require fewer people, and yet the demand is clearly there, and from a services provider, it's something that we can't find enough resources to fill?
Yeah, so I'll tackle it a couple of different ways. And one of the things I think I've seen and been in the industry for quite some time, probably longer than I want to admit, but is that the day of I'll exaggerate here, the 10-year project, the bridge to nowhere that never delivers, are for the most part gone, if not completely gone. And what a customer cares about is value being delivered, and in an accelerated fashion. And so you see things like the OTA process that helps, that's government's way of helping to drive that. But I think what we're seeing now is that they realize the speed and power of a platform like Appian, which is fast and allows a lower point of entry for people to learn how to develop in Appian versus Java or what have you. But now it's even faster when you've built something on top of the platform like Appian. You get the best of both worlds. One of my colleagues mentioned that with COTS you get a cliff, right? Where it meets the needs that you have, but then when you have to change those needs, you're left with not much options that are great. And so you get the best of both worlds with Appian, because you can build a solution that meets 80% or a lot more than that of the need. And then as the mission evolves and new policies are coming out, you have the low-code platform. You don't have the tech debt. We're always adding to the platform. So it just helps create that accelerated delivery model that now everybody's expecting. And once they see it once, they want more and faster.
It's resource-driven, Chandan, and you are within Synergy developing resources ahead of need.
Exactly. It is so changing the way people think about it. Like now that is rapid application development in this platform that's happening. So we took a two-pronged approach. One is we are promoting, incentivizing our existing workforce that are senior engineers that are like Java, .NET, or database background. We are training them in Appian, and we are telling them they can use their potential much better by using a tool like Appian, where it takes away the monotonous, the boring part of their job, and they can really focus on solving the customer problem, what they're expert in. So, and they're seeing that. They're seeing that they can do the same capability much faster. They don't have to code it from scratch. And then the benefit to the customer is, it is simpler code. It is easy to maintain in the long run, because if you talk to the CIOs, which we do all the time, their biggest concern is how they can reduce the operation and maintenance cost in future, so that the code is easier to maintain. The low code gives you that advantage. So there is a big advantage there. So they're seeing that the world is going to change that way. You're not going to be using, yesterday in the conference, somebody was talking about modem, and not of the new generation.
Right.
They don't even know that.
Yep.
So I think that 10 years down the line, when you see that, we'll see a lot of these applications are being built on low-code platforms like Appian. People are not thinking about custom development. And then also for the newer developers that we are hiring, we started a lab from the very beginning when we started Synergy to build prototype. Because as you said, we come from a delivery background. We always believe in building rapid prototypes. For the Solution Cup, we did that. And then we are hiring young engineers, and we are very easily training them and certifying them in Appian. Actually, we are seeing that in 12 weeks, they can be certified in Appian. And Appian, thank you, Garret, for building such a great training ecosystem there.
Yeah.
Making all the trainings free, a lot of videos. We really appreciate that. We are finding it is easy for them. And then we are putting them into real projects. We are building pilots, apps, so that they can use that knowledge. And then when they're ready, we are deploying them in real projects. So that way they are engaged, they're building something of value, they're learning this platform, they're getting certified. And it's working very well for us.
And what is really interesting, as Garret was pointing out yesterday, these are the moderate to highly complex solutions, in particular the acquisitions and contract writing systems that you are very focused on and encouraging your communities to work in and to take advantage of the opportunities that exist. Those are complex solutions, Garret.
Yeah, they are. And I want to take a second and say thank you for the investment you all are making, Synergy is making in training folks, building up the folks, building out accelerators and such. And the other point I'll make as it relates to low code that is often overlooked is how much more collaborative you can be with your customers. And we talk about the customers just want value, but they also want to, again, they don't want that 10-year project where work is done in a dark room and they don't see it. They want to be a part of that process. And I think low code allows someone such as yourselves to build along with them so they can see it. They can see it and understand it. When you look at something that you're building in low code, it's not a bunch of just code that I don't know what that means. I can see it and I know what that means. I know what that looks like. I can see the process flow, the rule, or the screen design, which is just important. Allows you to get closer to your customer.
No, that's very true. That's what we are doing with Coast Guard, exactly. Like, coming up with that, okay, hey, you're not going to show them the code, you're going to show, this is the application. They can feel and they can change it. and the changes can be done very, very quickly.
Yeah, we love that. Where, in fact, shouldn't say this, but a trick is we maybe know there's something that they wanted to see, and you purposely leave it out, and you say, oh well, let's do it right now.
Right.
Let's add that rule right now. And they're like, what? We can do that?
Instant
Yes, you can.
satisfaction. Time to mission value.
Yeah.
That was one of the points. And we talk about these solutions, but Synergy is able to help the government with a low-risk approach to the procurement of Appian solutions as well on the EAS contract.
Right. Our the EAS contract, USDA's leadership has done a great job, and we are just talking to someone. They give opportunity to any other federal agency to come and start their project by signing an interagency agreement, which takes between 6 to 12 weeks. And they don't have to go through this complex, long, somewhat uncertain acquisition cycle, but they can just come there. They know that this group has ability to deliver this kind of complex Appian solution, so they can very easily come and they can start their project in 6 to 12 weeks time, and they can see the results. So on one hand, it is a rapid application development platform, then there is rapid acquisition. If you merge the two, that means the federal, the line of business owners and the CIOs, they can deliver capabilities to the citizens or the warfighters much, much faster. So that's where we're in a very good position, and we feel very privileged to be a part of that EIS contract and the partnership with companies like Appian.
To Garrett's point, time to mission value.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, and that's important because you're right, there's agile development, but if the contracting process takes a year,
then you
it's
lose.
no longer agile.
That exactly so.
Correct.
We'll leave it there, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Garret, Chandan, thank you so much for the conversation.
Yeah, thank you. It's been fun.
Appian Government 22 from Ronald Reagan. We'll see you as this event rolls on from downtown Washington, D.C.